Welcome to day 41 on the trail. We have four readings for today from Luke 22, verses 54 through 23, verse 1, Exodus 12, verse 43 through 13:22, Job 15, verses 1 through 35, and Sirach chapter 45, verses 6 through 26. We begin today in Exodus chapter 13. Now, in the second half of the 13th verse, we read, "Every male born among your children you shall redeem." Redeeming the firstborn male children was connected to God's rescue of his people from Egypt and the death of the firstborn of Egypt. This practice of the redemption of the firstborn continued from the time of the Exodus from Egypt into the first century. So in Luke chapter 2, we have record of Joseph and Mary's redeeming their firstborn child, Jesus. However, since the Magi, along with their valuable gifts, were still months away, Joseph and Mary can only afford the biblical minimum of a pair of turtle doves or pigeons for the redemption offering. As they entered the temple precincts, they met a man named Simeon, who tells them that this child, the child that no one else seems to notice as Mary and Joseph bring him into the temple, this child is the hope of all nations. In their hands, Mary and Joseph hold the power of salvation, the hope of true freedom, and the fulfillment of God's promises to humanity. Luke informs us that Mary and Joseph are amazed by what Simeon told them, and who can blame them? After all, Joseph is listening to Simeon's history-changing proclamation while holding simply a pair of turtle doves as the redemption offering. Yet this child, the child that they redeemed that day, is the very one whose own sacrifice will redeem the world. Now turning to Luke chapter 22. On the night that Jesus was betrayed and abandoned by his disciples, he warned Peter, "I tell you, Peter, the cock will not crow this day until you have denied 3 times that you know me." Have you ever wondered why Jesus mentions the cock crowing? Could Jesus simply have said, "Peter, before morning comes, you will deny me 3 times"? Jesus could have done this if the chronology of Peter's third denial was important. Instead, Jesus seems more concerned about Peter's ability to hear the rooster crow. So why would this be important? Well, the crowing rooster calls to mind the first part of the Jewish morning blessing from the Talmud. It reads, "Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who endows the rooster with the ability to distinguish between day and night." In a way, Jesus is saying, "Peter, the rooster has the ability to distinguish between day and night, between light and darkness. But Peter, do you still not see? Do you still not understand my mission for the past 3 years?" Now, before I am accused of criticizing Peter too harshly, please note that these stories were intentionally recorded in the Gospels for future generations to read. They could have easily edited out this troublesome story about Peter, who was a chief apostle and leader of the early church, but they did not. Plus, where did the Gospel writers obtain these stories and all their details? Well, in this case, probably from Peter himself. No excuses, no denials, no avoidance, no spin. This is the power of Peter's confession. In a way, Peter is saying, "Yes, I did and said all of those things. But then something happened. I saw Jesus again. He came back to me, to us. He forgave me and welcomed me back. Even me, the one who could not tell morning from night." This story, it was never about me. It has always been about him. Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, stay on the trail.